In today's video, we are presenting Cannibal and serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was an American serial killer who took the lives of 17 males between 1978 and 1991. Over the course of more than 13 years, Dahmer sought out men, mostly African American, at gay bars, malls, and bus stops, lured them home with promises of money or sex, and gave them alcohol laced with drugs before strangling them to death. He would then engage in sex acts with the corpses before dismembering them and disposing of them, often keeping their skulls or genitals as souvenirs. He frequently took photos of his victims at various stages of the murder process, so he could recollect each act afterward and relive the experience. Dahmer was captured in 1991 and sentenced to 16 life terms. He was killed by fellow prison inmate Christopher Scarver in 1994. Dahmer was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on May 21, 1960. To Lionel Joyce Dahmer, he was described as an energetic and happy child until the age of 4, when surgery to correct a double hernia seemed to effect a change in the boy. Noticeably subdued, he became increasingly withdrawn following the birth of his younger brother and the family's frequent moves. By his early teens, he was disengaged, tense, and largely friendless. Dahmer claimed that his compulsions toward necrophilia and murder began around the age of 14, but it appears that the breakdown of his parents' marriage and their acrimonious divorce a few years later may have been the catalyst for turning these thoughts into actions. By the time of his first killing, Dahmer's alcohol consumption had spun out of control. He dropped out of Ohio State University after one quarter term, and his recently remarried father insisted that he join the army. His drinking problems persisted, and in early 1981, the army discharged him, although German authorities would later investigate possible connections between Dahmer and murders that took place in the area during that time. It is not believed that he took any more victims while serving in armed forces. Dahmer murdered 17 men between 1978 and 1991. He was careful to select victims on the fringes of society, who were often borderline criminal, making their disappearances less noticeable and reducing the likelihood of his capture. He lured them to his home with promises of money and sex, then strangled them to death. He engaged in sex acts with their bodies and kept body parts and photos as souvenirs. Dahmer's first murder occurred just after graduating high school in June 1978, when he picked up a hitchhiker named Stephen Hicks and took him home to his parents' house. Dahmer proceeded to get the young man drunk. When Hicks tried to leave, Dahmer killed him by striking him in the head and strangling him with a bear bell. Dahmer dismembered the corpses of his first victim, packed the body parts in plastic bags, and buried them behind his parents' home. He later exhumated the remains, crushed the bones with a sledgehammer, and scattered them across a wooded ravine. Thank you all for watching, and see you in the next video.